Hi, welcome to the Indie Plus review of our exhibition game Havok Brigade with Grant Howitt. We had a really great time playing a bunch of orcs and goblins and ettins who invaded a city to kidnap a human prince to hopefully win the war against the humans. So we're going to go around and just spend a few minutes just chatting about some of our favorite moments and some of the things that really worked, and just sort of going over what the experience was like. So. The way we're going to structure this is we're just going to have one thing we really liked about the game, and one thing we wish had been different or that we might want to change in the future. Obviously, we only played for like an hour and a half. It's not the be-all and end-all of the system, but some thoughts on what we might want to see in the future. So let's start with Chris. So Chris, what was one thing you really liked?
It was a fantastic game. Really loved it. I think what I liked about it is there's sort of like that sandbox feel. We picked our route from the city. We decided where we'd go, and we just sort of it was very player led. Even though the plot was quite defined, how we did the plot was we had loads and loads of options, and that I really liked. Lots of freedom.
Very cool. Good. Rich, how about you? What's one thing you really liked in the game?
I love that all of the playable characters were extremely colorful and really just from a simple description of their abilities, and some cool little art on a number of the characters. You got a immediate idea of how to play this character, and that was awesome. It was just you could jump right in, very easy pick up and go.
Very cool. Travis, how about you?
I actually really love the scavenging rule. The idea that like after you get into some sort of conflict, you loot the scene and you get a bunch of stuff because everybody starts with their own special kind of equipment. But then as the story progresses, you might find new things that you get to incorporate in a lot of fun ways. So
yeah, that's very cool. I really liked the way in which we could help each other. So there was one mechanic in which if you rolled and you just didn't do very well, one of the other orcs could say, "That's a damn good plan," and help you re-roll. And if you liked somebody's plan before they did it, you could say, "That's a cunning plan," and give them dice to roll. And I thought that was a nice way of sort of reinforcing that we're all kind of arguing with each other and like helping each other out and sort of yelling at each other as orcs without involving a whole bunch of like, I give you one die, but it's based on the skill. Like it was just based on whether you thought that was fun or not. It's very cool. Good. So let's talk about some stuff that we thought we might want to have questions about or do differently. And I think we hangout games are always strange, where you've got everybody's in different places. It was cool to play with Grant, who's in Australia to begin with. So let's think about some stuff in the game that we think we might want to explore more or try differently. So Chris, what's one thing that you might want to do a little differently with this game?
I think I would like to actually see it with another GM. I mean, Grant was fantastic. I mean, obviously his game, he's got it all in his head.
Yeah.
But having a look at the rules, and actually for the locations and things like that, there's very little information. And I would like to see how somebody else does a take on it, and whether there's enough in the rules or not, and really just what direction they go in as well.
Totally. Cool. Rich, how about you?
Personally, I was a little disappointed that that none of the goblins died. I really fully expected the goblin death scene because they only have one hit point each, and that kind of made me angry.
Yeah. What's the point of playing Ox if you're not just covered in goblins?
Well, yeah. So as for feedback, honestly, this game is great for what it is. It's a one shot. Somebody didn't show up, or a big group of people get together and you're in a silly mood. I mean, it's a very silly game. All of the skills and everything is written to be exactly the way we played it. A little less on the body humor. I thought Travis really brought it, and that stuff should be kind of added in. So if I had feedback, it would be take what Travis did and just seed it in a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Travis, how about you?
Yeah.
man, if you're telling people to do something that I did, I don't know. I'm not going to back that advice. Cloud of phlegm is never a good thing. So I guess my thing actually is that, and this was probably more a function of the Hangout format than anything else, is that we actually didn't get to see enough of the the cunning plan and that's dead good stuff. Like, I actually really wanted to like have a little bit more of that interaction, and I think if I were to play it again, right, I would love to see the goblins be like, "No, Ox, you're gonna run up there," and you know, and like sort of invent these weird things to do. So that seems to me a very exciting part of the system that we didn't get to engage enough.
Yeah, it seems like the hangout. I mean, it's cool to play over hangouts, right? But it's missing something in terms of just being able to talk over each other and being okay and not getting cut off and stuff. Totally. I thought, the one of the challenges of the game, I think Grant balanced pretty well, but I would be interested in playing more with is how you decide who goes when, right? It's sort of like, well, whoever jumps in first, and I think there's probably some art to making sure that, like, people get kind of equal spotlight time and things like that. And maybe it would be even fun to throw like a little Marvel Initiative system in it and be like, all right, so goblins, who do you think should go next, right? And bounce it around that way to kind of evenly spread the spotlight out. I would be worried about players that were a little quieter getting kind of like overwhelmed and left out because the goblins and orcs will resolve the whole scene before anything. So cool. Let's go around and just like, what's one moment in the game that stood out to you as super cool and fun? From that you just thought was a blast, Chris.
I think it's got to be the pus. I think just having a hill giant zit and firing it at the human guards. I think that moment will stay with me for a long time and for all the wrong reasons.
Whether you want it to or not.
You're welcome.
That's good. Rich, how about you? What's one moment that really stood out to you as awesome?
I really enjoyed the argument between Wrench and my character, the Ox, over the throw the sword or don't throw the sword. It was very clear to me that the Wrench said throw the sword at the guard. So
don't throw the sword. Don't throw the sword. Go between the boats? Are you crazy? Right. Exactly. Yeah. That was fun to be able to like turn it around, right? Like, and have it be. Like, the mechanics of the fiction didn't have to align in advance, right? There was like, just
yep.
Cool. Travis?
I mean, I'm an old school fan of the Muppets, so I really love when the goblins all climbed up in their big long coat and put the dirty wig on, and we're like, we're just here for the party, man. It's cool. And I mean, it was like such a vivid image of exactly how that worked, and a perfect thing to do with the goblins.
Yeah. I liked the dresses, right? Like as an element in the game, because it was cool to have it be like this sort of balance between like crazy ultra violence and like silly sort of like, don't look at us, we're in dresses, like Monty Python kind of humor. But it was also cool to see that the system was just like, yeah, totally, you do dresses. Like, there was no like, wait a second, we don't have the dresses statted up. Well, how much harm will the dresses do? Like, did you make this roll to feel? It's like, hey man, it's all sort of just dice. So totally cool if that's your plan, right? And Grant did a great job of saying, like, it's not that you fool them, it's that you stun them into an action with the sheer stupidity of your plan, which I thought was a great way to like balance out the craziness with what we had kind of established about the scene. So that was good. Okay, so sort of just like moment of truth. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Would play again. 1, 2,
totally
play again. Yes, play again. Oh yes, okay. Lots of thumbs. All of the thumbs.
I'm probably going to be taking this to the next convention that I visit, just as a throw it out. Not going to have anybody sign up for it, because then they'll be disappointed when it's crazy. I think Muppets was a really apt description. Like, having the Muppets mentality for this, really good idea.
Yeah. Ultra-violent Muppets. Go. Right.
Nice.
Awesome, no, thank you. Cool. Well, thank you all for watching, and we've got we'll include some links in here and in the text below to get you over to the main video if you'd like to watch the main game. And thanks again for checking out Indie Plus, and we're happy to have you. Thanks.